guys, it's me, Bunny Rabbit Lives, and I will be reading Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drews, chapters 3 through 4, I think, today. And I just want to let y'all know I have hiccups, okay? I haven't eaten yet, but I can't really use my car to get out, um so what happened was I can't really use my car because sorry, it's the hiccups. My brakes are bad, everything is bad, so I had to take the battery out. So yeah. Anyways, 1 second. Just 1 second, guys, okay? Only one I'm just kidding, not just 1 second, but a few seconds, okay? I am back. Okay, so yeah, that's what's wrong right now. My car has issues with the um brakes and everything, so the brake lights stay on and stuff. So yeah, right now I'm gonna chat with y'all for a bit, stuff like that, and then I'm going to read the book to y'all. I do have good, like I said, I do sh- like I said, I do have the hiccups, so honestly it might be a little rough right now. So yeah, but that is okay. That is perfectly fine. I can now read chat. Okay, so yes. Guys, I had so many malfunctions before I started the stream. I was literally like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? Anyways, I'm streaming inside today because, darn, yeah, I can't get in my car and it's hot. Today is actually gonna be the coolest day of the week, so I hope y'all are all staying cool. Hello, Ashton, how are you doing? Guys, it's me, Bunny Rabbit Lives. So yeah, that's what's been going on this week. What about y'all? How have y'all been? I'll give y'all a few minutes to chat with me, and then I'll go ahead and start reading the book to y'all. Y'all have been good? That's great. I have been, like I said, just hustling stuff, planning many things. I actually am working on an ASMR video for my dice collection still. It's just I have very little storage in my phone at the moment. So hopefully I'll be able to get that figured out and y'all can get that video soon. Jesus. Oh my gosh. These hiccups. They're trying to eat me up. Anyways, as I said, I will be reading soon. This book is about a very strong friendship between some boys, and one of them draws monsters and the other hunts them. And so, yes, there is very many warnings at the beginning. So let me warn y'all right now before I get started. Content warning for blood, gore, body horror, panic attacks, grief, eating disorders, bullying, and self-harm. Yes? Can y'all hear me? I hope y'all can hear me. Okay, so this is a scary book, but it's not super scary. Not in my opinion, not yet. Hopefully it picks up. So I will be starting now. The day would never end. The whispers unraveled and drew the most. furtive glances. A conversation cut off as he slid into his desk. That crawling feeling at the back of his neck that warned him someone was staring. Thomas ignored everything with a deliberate stoicism that Andrew couldn't muster, and their packed schedules left no time to talk. Dove's AP classes kept her far away from both of them, so Andrew was left with a mouthful of pins instead of answers about why she was avoiding Thomas. By the time sorry guys. By the, by the time dinner arrived, he felt too sick to be hungry. Stepping into the dining hall meant being pounded by a wave of chaos. Every room in Wickwood was nothing if not antiquated and stately, but the dining hall rarely seemed under such control. Hundreds of voices tangled with the clatter of plates and cutlery. Mealtimes had been broken into two halves. Ooh, sorry, 1 second, guys. Alright, guys, I am back. I will continue. So Andrew was left with a mouthful of pins instead of answers about why she was avoiding Thomas. By the time dinner arrived, he felt too sick to be hungry. Stepping into the dining hall meant being pounded by a wave of chaos. Every room in Wickwood was nothing if not antiquated and stately, but the dining hall rarely seemed under such control. Hundreds of voices tangled with the clatter of plates and cutlery. Meal times had been broken into two halves, and the seniors denied second. It meant less supervision. They were supposedly responsible, and therefore meant way more noise. The hall itself looked like something from a medieval king's court. Three long oaken tables with benches benches on either side took up most of the room, and a huge fireplace that smelled of evergreens and hazelnuts covered half a wall. Guys, I am not sick, I swear. Okay, guys? This is just like temporary for now. I'm gonna try to continue. The sitting style was meant to prevent cliches and encourage pure conversation, but Andrew suspected it had been specifically designed to torment introverts. Thomas had detoured to the bathroom, so Andrew decided to catch Dove in the serving line. He slid into place behind her and resisted the urge to slump his forehead on her shoulder and moan. I hate everything. He pressed his fingertips to his temples. Have you talked to Thomas? I haven't seen him. Dove crossed her arms over her stomach. It's roast chicken and apple turnovers. They're giving us false hope before the weeks of meat and meatloaf start. She inched toward the serving table stacked with plates and passed Andrew one. So, he said, are you and Thomas going to fight the whole year, or... Dove huffed. She looked worn after the long day, wisps of hair escaping her tight ponytail. He can talk to me. Sometimes Andrew thought Dove and Thomas were in the midst of their own three-act play. First friends, then enemies, and then lovers. That would inevitably come next. Andrew was sure of one bitter truth. He'd rather have his lungs punctured than to watch Dove and Thomas fall in love. Sometimes he'd lie awake at night and unpack all his feelings about this boy-shaped hurricane named Thomas Rye. He didn't know if he wanted to be Thomas, reckless and uncontainable, or if he wanted to kiss him. He could imagine Thomas' soft lips on his for approximately 5 seconds before the entire construction crumpled like wet paper. Because there was always after. There was always more. People didn't just kiss and continue on with their lives. They undid buttons and touched mouths and hot skin and lost themselves within each other. And Andrew didn't want to think about any of that. At all. Ever. He didn't have crushes and didn't think celebrities were hot, and honestly, the whole thing was stressful and overwhelming and better left boxed up in the back of his head. He was just this mess, who felt things about Thomas but couldn't shape them into coherent sentences. And he was almost definitely certain Thomas liked Dove. Dove reached the front of the line and tried chatting with the servers, though they ignored her, more interested in the line moving faster. A few students had begun staring at Andrew, but he kept his eyes on the ground as he trailed after his sister and had his plate filled with a heaping serving of roast chicken, peas, and a roll. At the condiments table, Andrew fussed with the butter while Hyder, who sat behind him in history, helped himself to gravy. "Hey," he said. "Glad you're back. Sorry about everything. You doing okay?" Andrew's scarred fingers clenched around his plate. "I'm fine." Any more of this and he would ask the walls to devour him. He cast about for somewhere to sit while Dove got cutlery, then followed her to the crowded tables. "It's just, I don't know what you and Thomas fought about, and I don't know why everyone keeps looking at us." Dove sighed. "Sometimes I don't know what reality you live in." He frowned. "What's that supposed to mean?" But then Dove nodded to where the boy with a mess of auburn hair was slipping out of the dining hall in an illegal escape. "Do you need me to stay with you, or should I chase him?" Dove said. It felt like a trick question. Eating alone would be hell, but of course she had to go after Thomas. Fix this. Andrew had to stop being such a coward about being left by himself. "Go make up." He hoped she didn't interpret that as make out too. Dove vanished and Andrew walked slowly down the long rows of benches that had turned into hostile territory. No one would notice if he tossed his food in the trash and escaped. But when he turned, Lena Lang stood there, with one hand on her hip. She was Chinese American, wore deep mauve combat boots, despite school regulations, kept her hair pulled back in a jagged ponytail, and had an expression flat as a severed heartbeat. To be scared of Lana was common sense. Fake smiles and false fronts melted before her. You had to be real or she took you apart. She flicked a glance up and down Andrew, her mouth a thin line. "You're wandering around like a lost puppy. Did Thomas misplace you?" Andrew never knew whether to be meek or defensive with Lana. Their paths didn't cross often. She was firmly Dobbs' friend, not his. "He's busy." And yet, all the seniors are required to be at dinner. I swear he has the compulsion to do the opposite of what he's told. "Come on, sit with me." Panic set in. "It's fine, I'll sit." Lana stalked toward a mostly empty section at the farthest table. "I won't make you sit with my loud friends, per lot. It'll just be us." He was tired and it was easiest to just obey. They sat down across from each other. Lana had drowned her plate in gravy and now set to excruciating her chicken as if it weren't dead enough already. For future reference, Lana said, "You can sit with me any time." Dove must have put her up to this. Apparently, Andrew looked so pathetic and lost when left to his own devices that even his twin was embarrassed. Hello, guys! I'm still reading, okay? So, no worries, guys, okay? This is only the beginning of the third chapter, okay? Also, let me see if I can move my camera somewhere else. There we go. Andrew started to ask Lana what Dove had told her, but she glanced over his head and sucked her teeth. He followed her gaze and was almost thrown into his plate by an almighty backslap that could be considered a jovial greeting or assault. Bryce Kane leaned between them, a hand squeezing Andrew's shoulder. It looked friendly, but Lana gripped her fork like a weapon, and Andrew thought his shoulder was about to break. The school had a zero tolerance policy against bullying, so Bryce had curated his image to be described as charming and energetic. He was one of Wickwood's best tennis players and a delight to have in class. He had wealthy parents on the school board, and kids flocked to pay tribute to his court. And he got off on making them grovel. He knew how to be terrible without looking like he was being terrible. "Hey, it's the goth and the Vegemite boy," he said. "An unlikely couple. How was your summer, Andy? Eating shrimp on the Barbie and banging kangaroos?" "I'm a goth because I wear combat boots?" Lana said. "Wow, original." Andrew shrugged off Bryce's arm. No point reminding him that July was winter in Australia. It was fine. "Weird seeing you without Dove." Bryce scrubbed Andrew's hair. "Or your girlfriend. Where's Thomas Ryan, psycho these days? Heard she's getting visits from cops already." Lana half rose from her seat, her face gone white with fury. "Back off." The level of venom in her voice surprised even Andrew. Bryce raised both hands in mock fear. "No need to get hysterical. Just trying to joke around. Be chill and normal, you know?" "You're lucky Thomas isn't here," Lana snapped. "You have a broken face by now." Bryce had the gall to look annoyed. "And that's why I'm not surprised the cops are already on him. Don't even know why Wickwood let him back after everything that happened last year." He strode off, already shouting across the hall at a friend, who hollered back a greeting. It took Lana a while to stop steaming and sit down. Protecting Andrew was Thomas's and Dove's job, so Lana stepping in should have felt condescending. Andrew should be mad, but at least she hasn't asked him if he was okay or said anything cryptic about last year or commented on his ruined hand. Andrew ate half his roll before he noticed Lana watching. He absently rubbed his healed hand against his cheek. "The scars aren't that bad. I don't know why everyone's looking at me." "The problem isn't the scars," Lana said with a clipped precision. "It's that you smashed your hand through a mirror." He wished she wouldn't say it out loud. It sounded blunt and ugly. Lana went back to stabbing at her food. "They'll stop staring eventually. Some senior will get into a ridiculous scandal in a few days and boom, attention gone. They're all a bunch of airheaded gnats." She chewed, deliberate and angry. "But what was with those cops? It's day one of school. Thomas is unbelievable." "What are people saying about it?" Andrew asked quietly. "You don't want to know. Trust me." Her voice turned to steel. "The thing you need to do this year is keep your head down and graduate. Survive. Don't," she pointed her fork at him, "let Thomas get into fights for you. They want a reason to expel him. If the gossip gets bad, come to me. I'll help. Got it?" Andrew felt a little dizzy. Lana and Thomas should have been friends. What with the way they were all teeth and knives out? Except Lana was a cold scalpel. And Thomas was a wild machete with blazing emotions he'd never learned how to moderate properly. It still didn't make sense that Lana had taken a sudden interest in Andrew. He was fine. It had been one mirror. 1 minute of lost control. Andrew, a string drawn taut. Snap. Blood all over Thomas's shirt as he dragged Andrew away from the wreckage. There's something else you should know. Lana's voice sounded odd. They've put up a fence between the school and the forest. Ooh, guys. Andrew shredded the rest of his roll into tiny pieces. Okay. No more class hikes. No more exploring. Immediate expulsion if anyone's caught climbing the fence. She had to be warning him for Thomas's sake. Thomas, who breathed best with his cheek pressed against a tree, and never wasted a chance to slip out and be as wild as his soul demanded. Everything is shit. Lana propped her chin against her fist and sighed. No offense, but I have no idea why you wanted to come back. The reason was obvious. It didn't need to be said. I should go find Thomas. Andrew slid from the bench. He flexed his scarred fingers and slipped his hand into his pocket. Pepper crunched and he frowned at the unexpected scrap. He hurried away from Lana before he took it out and smoothed the corners. Thomas's work, unmistakably. A stark winter forest, every tree burned white with frost. A boy with horns and roses grown from his eyes held a knife, and he was midway through carving the heart out of another boy with moth wings who knelt in the leaves, his face tilted upward in supplication. Vines blossomed around them, tangled and unruly. Thomas always drew like this, murderous and dark, sentient forests with teeth and claws, boys made of thorns, studies of hands and flowers blossoming from cuts. Beautiful and horrible all at once. He drew like this because Andrew wrote like this. They fed off each other relentlessly, their fever dreams bleeding through their eyes long after they woke. Andrew burst out of the dining hall. He'd barely eaten, but it didn't seem important. If Thomas had illustrated Andrew's story, it had to mean something. Or maybe it didn't. Thomas drew Andrew's work all the time. How was he to know that last story had been a confession about how Andrew felt about him? Andrew hated the way his brain did this, destroyed beautiful things. It was like he couldn't just hold a flower. He had to crush the petals in his fist until his hand was stained with murdered color. The corridors lay empty. No sign of Thomas and Dove. They'd probably be outside letting the dusk eat their angry words. The noise from the dining hall turned muddy the farther he walked, and he kept waiting to bump into the other students. Counselors touring new kids around. Clumps of friends catching up. Teachers coming and going from offices. The manor should be busy. Andrew paused in the darkened foyer. It was a rare thing to be so perfectly alone. He breathed out slowly and tried to shake the anxiety thickening in his stomach. But all he could smell was the forest, damp leaves, and mud, fresh smell of snapped green ticks. He shouldn't be able to smell the forest all the way up here. Someone moved behind him. Sorry, guys. He didn't turn because it was obvious the person was trying to sneak up. Feet too heavy and breathing muffled as if they were on the cusp of bursting out laughing. He knew it was Thomas, about to pounce on his back. Andrew relaxed slightly. His fight with Dove must be resolved. Everything would go back to normal. I can hear you, Andrew said, a small smile forming. Thomas flung his arms around Andrew's back, and they stumbled forward a few steps. Andrew grunted, and he secretly enjoyed it. He started to jab an elbow into Thomas's ribs, but something soft and warm pressed against the nape of his neck, mouth to skin. For a minute, Andrew did not move. His stomach swooped so violently he didn't know how he stayed standing. The floor was so still, darkening around the edges. He heard Thomas stop breathing. The weight hanging off Andrew's back felt heavy now. Too much to hold. He had to say something. He was ruining everything. What did Thomas want from him? Hot breath brushed the back of his neck again, and then, inexplicably, what the fuck? Guys, I don't know what I'm reading. Maybe I'll get a different book. I mean, I'm fine with it. I don't know if y'all are. A tongue slid soft and wet up Andrew's ear. It was a line of heat. Sensual and terrible and confusing. What was Thomas doing? Andrew whirled around, shoving Thomas off. But the force of dislodging another body threw Andrew off balance, and he fell down to one knee. When he scrambled up, breathing too hard, the floor was empty. What the hell is going on, guys? I am so confused, okay? I am not... What? Sadness stretched in front of him. He touched the back of his neck, wet. He realized now that the feeling of a body pressed against him had been all arms. There had been no legs. Stop it. There hadn't been anything there at all, obviously. You're losing your mind, Andrew whispered, not sure if he was embarrassed or horrified at what he'd imagined. It had felt so real. He could still feel the tongue licking toward his ear. He stuffed his trembling hands into his pockets and hurried outside. Get a hold of yourself. But he didn't know what part of himself was safe to hold on to. Bro, that's crazy. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. That's crazy. Okay, we're in chapter 4, guys. Their story had begun in the forest, a collision both violent and beautiful. Hello, Clifton. How are you doing? Okay, guys. I might take a little break just to chat with y'all. I am at chapter 4 now. Remember, guys, my last live was chapters 1 to 2, and this is chapters 3 to 4, maybe more. What do y'all think? How are you doing, Clifton? Are you enjoying your time? How's your day been? My day's been fine. My car broke down a little bit, but it's okay. I got it working again a little bit. I'll chat some more after I finish this chapter, and I'll make sure that, you know, I update y'all on some stuff without revealing too much, because obviously some of this stuff is kind of personal, and I like to have my privacy, and I know y'all are very reasonable people. So this is chapter 4 now. Don't be afraid to chat amongst yourselves about what I'm reading or about your day, or, you know, try and make friends with each other or whatever. Anyways, I shall continue. Their story had begun in a forest, a collision both violent and beautiful. It had been Andrew and Dove's first year at Wickwood, both of them 12 years old with awkward limbs and amorphous personalities. If the Peralt's father wasn't traveling, he was chained to offices and meetings in the States while his business grew faster than he could hold on to it. He couldn't leave them in Australia, and his unpredictable hours meant boarding school was the logical choice. It meant the twins arrived in Wickwood mid-year, when the other students had already settled into their cliques. Andrew and Dove stood out painfully with their Australian accents and strange phrases and the way their edges melted together. They weren't used to wealth, to listening to kids talk about their opulent homes and extravagant vacations and famous parents, but Dove could be tossed into anything and he'd bounce. Andrew was a glass figure. Drop him and he shattered. While Dove made spreadsheets of who she'd befriended and planned how to hit top of every class, Andrew started getting horrible stomach aches. The worst part was how Dove loved it here. Andrew was ruining everything, like always. We just need to make friends, Dove said firmly. Do it then. Stop hanging around me. Andrew was in tears but firm. She didn't have to drown with him. Except, oh, this is sad. Except she chose him every time. She sat with him instead of other girls. And she pulled him into games and did his assignments when he was too stressed to concentrate. Outside, at least, it was easier to breathe. Wickwood Academy sprouted between thorny rose gardens and wide, manicured lawns, and it prided itself on an enthusiastic sports curriculum that included supervised hikes and nature walks in the surrounding forest. Hey! Oh, I'll tell y'all after. The class would walk the compacted dirt paths, a teacher up front and another behind to herd the stragglers, and everyone had to finish a nature sketch or trace a leaf while listening to a lesson on ecosystems. The other kids mucked around, but Andrew fell in love with the woods. It was quite it was quiet there, and the trees seemed like they could keep secrets. But there was one boy who obviously loved the forest more than Andrew. A freckled kid with a reckless mouth and hair kissed by the devil. Once Andrew started, he couldn't look away. Thomas Rye was a wild thing. He was everywhere at once, climbing trees and throwing rocks, racing ahead and exploring off the path. The entire forest rang with his name because a teacher was always shouting for him. Only Andrew saw Thomas kiss the tree. It wasn't a performance. This boy did what he wanted on impulse and regretted nothing. Andrew wanted that, to be so full of fierce life it spilled over his edges. Instead, he'd walk next to Dove, who already had 7 pages of leaf tracings, perfectly labeled and colored, and kept putting up her hand to ask complicated questions. Her enthusiasm was only dampened by the boys behind them mimicking her accent. Teach us some bad Australian words. Bryce Kane had bright eyes and a bright smile. A white All-American golden boy. They're the same as yours, Dove said, exasperated. Can you stop stepping on our heels? They didn't stop. They found it hilarious. Then they discovered it was even more hilarious to trip Andrew. The first time could have been an accident. The second time, Andrew's knees hit the dirt, and he got up, bruised and muddied. Dove snapped at the boys, but they didn't care. Teachers never got mad at Bryce Kane, and his little posse shared the immunity. The third time, Bryce hooked his foot around Andrew's ankle, and he went down hard enough to shred his knees. He climbed to his feet, bloodied and shaky, wanting the teacher to step in, but also embarrassed that he still needed that. He was too old to be so delicate. Oops, Bryce said. Then the others made fake crying noises between snickers because it was obvious Andrew was on the edge of tears. I'm gonna rage right now. Then Thomas Rice appeared. He came out of nowhere, dirt on his face and his pockets distended from collecting seed pods and pebbles. He tucked his sketchbook under one arm and wedged himself between Andrew and Dove without invitation. The 3 of them barely fit shoulder to shoulder on the narrow path. He was half a head shorter than both of them, which surprised Andrew, because from a distance Thomas seemed like he could fill up the whole world. Thomas didn't seem to care about their arms bumping together. You're the Australians, right? Who are you? Dove snapped, in case he was one of Bryce's vultures. I'm Thomas.
Whenever I'm annoying, my mom says I'm a little shit, and she's shipping me to Australia. He sounded unfazed. I think it sounds fun. What stuff do you like? Bryce, Kane, and the others backed off, as if Thomas was something to be wary of, and Dove relaxed. I like running, she said. She'd recently added Conquer track and field to her spreadsheet. I read a lot. Adult books, too. Thomas picked up a stick and dragged it in the dirt as they walked. We should race and see who's fastest. I think I am, but he sounded factual. You might be because you're taller. He turned to Andrew. What about you? What do you like? Andrew's eyes went wide. People would clock Dove as the friendly one and assume Andrew was rude, not shy. No one bothered with him. I like to write, he said quietly. He writes amazing books, Dove added. Forever his one-person hype team. Hello, your mama! Welcome! How are you doing? Are you doing good? Hell yeah, Bunny Rabbit Mother Trucker lives. I get to sit back and listen ambience music while I cook. Hello! Hell yeah. Okay, I'll continue reading. Actually, you know what? I wouldn't mind reading one more chapter after this. Okay, guys? So I will continue now. If you want to talk about what I'm reading, that's fine too. Yes, but this book has curses in it, so I don't know how classy that is. But yes. You're welcome. I'm researching how we can publish them and become millionaires, but I got stuck designing a cover. I could draw you a cover, Thomas said, but I only draw monsters, so you probably couldn't handle that. He looked at Andrew as he said it, his mouth a serious line with a challenge tucked into one corner. I can handle you, Andrew said. He meant to say I can handle it. A smile broke across Thomas' face, all sharp edges and cleverness. Andrew loved it. Then a hand shoved Andrew's shoulder and he stumbled. Excuse me, trying to get past, Bryce shouted, and his friends cracked up because of course he wasn't. He reached out to shove Andrew again. Dove whipped around in fury, but Thomas was faster. He leveled his stick right at Bryce's chest. Touch him again like that, he said mildly, and you'll wish you hadn't. Bryce towered over them with a mocking smirk. Is this even your class, runt? I think the preschoolers went the other way. He began to reach toward Andrew again. We're just messing around. Didn't mean to make Andy cry a little. Thomas slammed the stick down so hard the forest echoed with the crack of wood against skin. Bryce's howl was of both shock and rage as he doubled over, a vicious red welt on his hand. A horribly delicious feeling flooded Andrew's chest. He could taste pain in the air, and for once it wasn't his, and he loved that. The teacher stormed toward them. Thomas casually tossed his stick into the trees and didn't look concerned. He won't touch you again, he said. Andrew could hardly breathe. You'll be in trouble. The light in Thomas's eyes was bold and ferocious, but he won't touch you again. Okay, Thomas is awesome. Hell yeah, stand up to bullies, guys. Don't let people bully you, cause hell no. Bryce, keep your hands off Andrew, okay? Anyways, chapter 5, guys. Instead of waiting up until the witching hour to sneak out and stargaze, Andrew fell asleep. He found Thomas in the dorms after dinner, and they'd fallen into their usual first day routine of haphazardly unpacking until Andrew had nodded off on his still unmade bed. He dreamed brambles wrapped around his throat, a briar rose resting on his tongue. Dove kept knocking on his door, begging him to come to the forest with her. But he didn't squeeze words out past the thorns. She went without him. His best talent had always been letting people down, even in his sleep, apparently. When he woke, it was dark, and he felt feverish. Pinpricks of pain rippled through his right hand, and he gave a sleep-fogged moan before looking down. Blood streaked his knuckles. Every scar flayed open again. When he made a fist, skin peeled apart to show stark white bone against raw tendons. Andrew shot upright with a cry. A light burst on, and he whipped around, an arm flung up, to defend himself from the glare, or an attack. But it was just Thomas clicking on his desk lamp, one boot on, and worry furrowing his burrows. "Are you okay?" he said. Andrew glanced back down at his hand. No blood, only a lattice of thin white scars. Thomas dropped onto the mattress beside Andrew, and they both stared at his hand for a minute. Then Thomas traced from the tips of Andrew's fingers down to his wrist. A shiver shot down Andrew's spine. He had to breathe out hard to hide it. "It healed well," Thomas said. "The scars almost look like lace. Do you still want to sneak out? We don't have to." Andrew pulled away and reached for his sweater. "You owe me like 700 answers." "It'll feel wrong to go without Dove," Thomas said it so softly. Andrew paused with his sweater half tangled over his head. Then he turned back. Thomas still sat on Andrew's bed, his head bowed, fingers picking at old dried paint on his jeans. Out of school uniform, he always looked lawless, as if the loss of rigid lines turned him into a passionate painting spilled all over a page. Well, this meant Thomas and Dove hadn't fixed their argument, but if they were in a fight, they weren't kissing. He hated himself for the selfish relief. "I still want to." They climbed out the window, feet wedged in the cracks between bricks, hands gripping window frames and trestles to lower themselves down. Thomas first, then Andrew, dropping into a crouch on the dewy grass. The night was cool for September, but then Andrew was always cold. Everything felt more alive out there. An energy thrummed between the rose bushes and up through the ivy-covered walls. There was a stickiness to the shadows. The night so dark that staring into it made Andrew feel unsteady. A shadow moved with the softest scrape of scales against gravel before slithering out of sight between the dorms. Hair prickled at the back of Andrew's neck, but he scrubbed his eyes and shook himself. He wasn't properly awake, was all. Nothing breathed out here but them. He took off, the velvet dark cloaking them. Both had notebooks in hand, and Andrew had shoved a packet down his sweater at the last minute. Plastic crinkled as he walked, and Thomas mimed at him to hush several times before giving up and hiding his laugh. They crept through the deserted gardens to the sheds and used a firewood stack to climb onto the low roof. Thomas's sweater rolled up, his bare stomach scraping against tiles. A hiss escaped him before he rolled out of the way. Andrew vaulted up behind him. "Stop doing that so easily," Thomas muttered. "Start growing." Andrew pulled a packet of Tim Tams from under his shirt. "Surprise." "Oh, yes. You freaking God-sent saint." Andrew bit back a laugh as Thomas snatched the Tim Tams and then scurried like a goblin over the roof. They discovered the spot back in freshman year, when Thomas realized no windows from any of the dorm or the school manor overlooked the neat little garden sheds. It was rebellion, but safe. Even Dub allowed it instead of doling out her usual lectures about Thomas's rule breaking. The way she clung to rules and Thomas mocked them fueled most of their wars. But Andrew suspected they fought because they liked it, or because Dove needed the relief of an excuse to be less than perfect for a second, or because Thomas only knew how to bite people for attention. Andrew settled on his back next to Thomas. The slope was gentle, the tiles cushioned by decades of moss and papered with old leaves. I bought original because you have low standards anyway, he said. True, Thomas tore into the packet. Tim Tams were nothing more than malted biscuits with a creamy filling, dipped in chocolate and then blessed by an Australian brand name. But for some reason, Thomas worshipped them. They're not even that good, Andrew said. Be disrespectful somewhere else. If I eat enough, I will turn Australian. I will be a bloke. Andrew jabbed Thomas in the ribs. I'll take them back. You can't if I lick them all. Actually, wait. I'll give you one, and you give me your notebook. One? Wow. But Andrew passed over his notebook. This was their tradition. A chance to cram in updates about everything they'd missed over the summer. Without Dove, it did feel strange. But so what if Andrew was Thomas... Oh, so what if Andrew had Thomas to himself for once? It was an excuse to lie beside each other, skin brushing skin, knee pressed against leg. Only the stars could judge. Thomas sat up and nestled Andrew's notebook on his lap, handing over his own sketchbook. Give us some light, Andrew obliged, propping his phone on his knees so a soft glow bathed their swapped books. An extraordinary amount of intimacy lay in exchanging art. Not for critique and not for class, just to look, to feel, to understand each other. Andrew paged through slowly, chewing his lip as he looked at Thomas's drawings from the summer. Everything here had been cut from the cruelest fairy tale. Towers wrapped in thorns, with monsters hung by the throat at the gates, thistle fairies with their wings cut off, teeth sunk into their prey's flesh, a princess with fingers grafting into tree bark. The final portrait made Andrew linger. A boy with arrow-tipped ears. His face a constellation of freckles, and eyes cut out of roses to claw through the sockets. His mouth had been scribbled out in dark pen. Hello, Nunu? No, it's okay. I was a little late to, I had technical issues before I started. Wait, I'll be back. I need to do something. Alright, Nunu, no worries. I'll keep reading then. Andrew loved it. He loved them all. He could tell many had been based on his stories, which meant he had been on Thomas's mind all summer. Thomas flipped pages in Andrew's notebook, getting crumbs and smears of chocolate everywhere as he made small noises of appreciation. You should write a whole book someday. Your stories are too short, and I always want more. They're meant to be paper cuts, Andrew turned to the last sketchbook page. This one is inspired by my story, right? A boy, done in charcoal, leaned over the lip of a wishing well, with fingers outstretched to the silver water. Behind him, a monster with elegant human hands and a hacked-off wolf's head, for a face devoured the boy's parents. Thomas snatched the sketchbook from Andrew's hand. Andrew stifled his yelp and had to grab his phone before it skittered off the roof. He shot a confused look at Thomas. Thomas whipped the page out and scrunched it up. I hate this one. The shadows are gone. Andrew's phone flashed a low battery warning. He turned it off. Truth felt safer in the dark. Tell me what happened with your parents. Thomas sighed and stuffed the last Tim Tam in his mouth. Or we could look for shooting stars and I could annoy you. He handed back Andrew's notebook. You already do. No extra effort needed. Thomas wrinkled his nose. The lightness slipped from Andrew's voice. Are you even okay? They never did this, never confronted each other or asked what was wrong to be mapped out in words that made sense. Andrew was the worst about it. The one who clammed up or outright lied so people would stop trying to pry apart his bones and see why he was riddled with peculiar agonies. He couldn't explain himself, which meant he couldn't ask Dove why she fell into manic study spirals or Thomas why he had a wine-colored scar on his shoulder blade. So Andrew tucked his problems away. His panic attacks, his suffocating shyness, the way he disappeared into daydreams. Thomas flung an arm over his eyes. I'm fine. What about you? You looked haunted after dinner. No way was Andrew confessing about the whatever that thing had been that licked his neck. It hadn't been anything. A waking dream. Lurid. And not his. Nothing, Andrew said. Why did you lie to the detective? Thomas went still. Even whispering, their voices seemed too loud in the night. When Thomas peeled his arm off his face, something harrowed lived behind his eyes. Fear didn't suit him. He was meant to be invincible. Because it looks bad. Thomas' voice came low. I can't explain it. I don't want you to worry, all right? I knew the house was... Things were messed up before I left. I left anyway. Did your parents hurt you? Andrew hated the pitch to his words. He thought of the drawing Thomas had ripped up. What? No, I told you before. They get a bit high and drunk sometimes, and they get caught up in their art. All families are dysfunctional. Stop telling yourself stories where I'm some damsel in distress. Thomas. He pushed himself up on his elbows and dug fingers into Andrew's shirt. Stop asking. Andrew went quiet. Thomas pulled him down, so they lay side by side again. Billions of glittering stars layered the world above them, blotting out the dark. Tell me a secret, Thomas said, and I'll tell you one. I'm glad Dove didn't come with us tonight. Andrew swallowed, his skin suddenly hot. I'm scared of everything except the dark. Thomas huffed the tiniest laugh. I knew that. You write the darkest things and it never keeps you up. Tell me yours. I think someday you'll hate me. Thomas' voice stretched with a loneliness Andrew had never heard before. You'll cut me open and find a garden of rot where my heart should be. Andrew let the silence sharpen between them. Waited until Thomas's breath caught in quiet anguish from being made to wait. When I cut you open, Andrew finally said, all I'll find is that we match. Below them, something scraped softly over the stony path. The world smelled of sweet, cloying decay, rotten leaves, and earth. Did you hear that? Andrew scooted himself toward the edge, but Thomas caught his arm. Shadow stole his face, but for the sharp line of his mouth. It's probably a fox or something. We should leave anyway. They climbed down the silence together, their fingers cold and lungs aching. It was strange, Andrew thought. How when something moved in the dark, everyone's first instinct was to go inside and hide under the covers. As if monsters couldn't open doors and crawl into bed with you. Once upon a time, Welcome back, Nunu! Welcome back. I hope you had an easy time with whatever you had to handle. And
don't worry about chatting with each other, guys. I will be reading stuff after the stream, and also I will be chatting after I finish reading. No, it's okay, Nunu. It's okay. No need to worry. Work takes priority. Worry about yourselves, guys. Y'all can always watch the stream after I stream it because it is archived. Alright, I will continue. Once upon a time, a coral queen and a wormwood king had 7 sons. They loved them all except for the last, who was made of sarsaparilla and foul tempers and had beautifully pointed teeth. They gifted their first 6 sons crowns made of willow switches, but they ordered the 7th son to be switched with the leftover rods. They gifted their first 6 sons golden apples, but for their 7th son, they put worms on his tongue and made him swallow. They gifted their first 6 sons a wishing well, but their 7th son they gave the hacked off head of a wolf cub. The years passed, and the 7th son's skin toughened under the switching, and he developed a taste for flesh. And he befriended the murdered wolf cub and told it all his secrets. When the wolf decided justice was necessary, and ripped out the heads of the cutthroat queen and the wormwood king, and ate their 6 perfect sons, the 7th son did not even notice. He had found his reflection in the wishing well and liked staring at his pointed teeth. This is chapter 5, but I'm about to go into 6. I will finish reading 6 and I'll leave the rest for another time. But I will be drinking water. I will be taking a break and drinking some water before 6. Alright. Actually, it's chapter 6 now. Don't worry, you can always go back after the stream and see what I read so you can catch up on the story. I also take breaks from time to time and chat in between reading the chapters, so yeah. But honestly, my throat is just kind of like this because I have to eat after the stream. That's it. Otherwise, everything's fine. Yes, everybody, stay hydrated, listen to Nunu, and if you like what you see, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Alright, this will be the last chapter of the day. I am. I'm trying my best, okay? I'm low on funds, okay? I'm trying to like save some money and stuff, guys. I'm kind of struggling right now, but more on that after I finish reading chapter 6, okay? Of the day. This is not the last chapter, okay? Just the last chapter of the day, because I do need a actually, maybe I'll read one more chapter after this. Maybe. Okay, we shall continue. On Wednesday, they took Thomas from class. He packed up his books and left in silence, only pressing his fingertips on the top of Andrew's desk as he passed. No backward glance. Through the open classroom door, Andrew saw the corner of Detective Bell's cream trench coat before she strode out of view. He sat motionless through the rest of the lesson and tried to make each breath... Oh. There's an ambulance, guys. Sorry about that. I don't know if y'all hear it or not. I hope whatever happened that everyone is okay. I'll continue. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But I do hear an ambulance. There's a lot of ambulances and speeding around here and rage
road rage and stuff, so it's kind of worrying when that stuff happens, because, you know, there is road rage, but anyways, I'll talk more about that after chapter 6, okay? I will be only reading chapter 6. So I can chat with y'all. Yes, God bless whomever. Yes. May they be safe. He sat motionless through the rest of the lesson and tried to make each breath more shallow than the last. He would disappear if he could, just until Thomas came back. As soon as class ended and everyone filed out, the whispers began. Not surprised. He's always so rude. Has that violent streak. But he killed his parents. No one should even know this had something to do with his parents. Either a student had overheard something, or Dove had been extra vindictive since their fight had spread the rumor. It felt Andrew Wadding? It felt Andrew Wadding. I'm sorry, guys. It left Andrew wadding through classes with a feeling of pins being twisted into his skin one by one until he could barely speak through the taste of metal in his mouth. His lower lip bled. He had to stop chewing it. See, I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up, really. I don't know what wadding means. Maybe like winding? What is walding? It's Wading. I'll continue. Thomas didn't return for lunch or when the final period ended. Why did the police even need to keep him this long? Because it looks bad. He'd said on the first night back at Wickwood. What could he possibly have done, Thomas? If Andrew started down a trail of what-ifs and maybes, he'd spiral. He had to stop thinking. He skipped tutoring and went hunting for Dove. He knew where she'd be. The Wickwood Library had been known to eat students whole. It had its own building beside the school manor, smaller but still built of stone and ivy, and it had been packed with shelves and cozy study books. The upper floor had begrudgingly relinquished studios to art students and extracurricular clubs, so the whole building always smelled of books and paint, and sometimes Shakespeare monologues could be heard through the walls. Since Dove lived to study, and Thomas breathed art, and Andrew craved stories, they all had pledged their hearts to this library. Andrew wandered between the narrow shelves and ran fingers along the spines of his favorite sections. Leather-bound first editions lined overhead cabinets, and every reference book imaginable could be requested because Wickwood was assigned for minds that burned to know everything. It was a school for brilliance, for fixating on the stars until you grew tall enough to reach them. Andrew found Dove and her best friend extra credit assignments holed up in a study nook by the window. It had a clear view of the parking lot. Perfect. He'd see when Thomas returned. Andrew slung his satchel onto her table. That is way too much homework for our first week back. It shouldn't even be called homework, should it? Dove had a pencil between one ear and another jammed through her ponytail. We live here. It should be homeschool work. I'm starting my essay analyzing stereotypical gender roles in fairy tales. You could write this better than me. Andrew thumbed through his notes from today's classes, but he was too agitated to focus. He took out his notebook. I don't show people my stories, you know that. They wouldn't get it. They'd had this argument before, but Dove eyeballed him anyway. Our teachers handle Thomas's art, and he's a drama queen of the macabre. You could get extra credit if you wrote for class, or, hear me out, you could write something nice. To write something nice, he'd need something nice to say. But his ribs were a cage of monsters and they cut their teeth on his bones. Have you heard anything about Thomas yet? Andrew fiddled with the edge of his notebook and glanced at the window. Should we worry? Dove reorganized her already perfectly stacked homework piles and then straightened her tin of highlighters. Not yet. Give it till dinner. Then you'll ask about him? He hated how thin he sounded. Pathetic. But Dove said, yes, I'll do the asking, firmer without judgment. What were twins if not one to shout and one to whisper? She started to ask about his math homework. It was one of his worst classes, and Professor Clemens was a glorified bully. But the library doors burst open and a group of teens clattered in. They were all mid-conversation and immediately began hushing each other and cracking up because of it. Andrew put his elbow on the table and covertly cupped a hand over one ear to block out some of their noise. Dove suddenly got to her feet. I have to go. She crushed handfuls of papers down among her textbooks while Andrew's confusion turned to shock. Dove did not mess up her orderly perfection. Who are we avoiding? He swiveled to look at the incoming group. Lana Lang strode around the shelves. Her purple combat boots came first. Her stubby expression followed, and she had a sack of flags over her shoulder, the edges peeking out to show stripes of various color combinations. The motley crew behind her looked liberated from the theater class, different ages, some still in costume or glittering from drama class residue, and a few with haircuts that barely met Wigwood's restrictive dress code. They all whispered or linked arms as they headed upstairs. Only Lana paused. She put one hand on her hip, an eyebrow raised as she surveyed his shoved-aside homework. Studying alone? No, I'm with... He looked back, but Dove had cleared out like a puff of smoke. Was he fighting with Lana too? Lana watched the last of her crew disappear upstairs, then readjusted her sack of flags. Wanna come? Her usual brusque tone had a tentative edge. Are you running an art club? Andrew said. Lana squinted at him, and he had a flash of panic that he'd said something foolish. He hated talking to people. Miss Poppy runs a GSA club, but we come in early to hang out. Andrew wanted to turn himself inside out. It's not my thing. Did Lana look annoyed? She probably thought him a bigot. Now, instead of something who was an absolute mess about his sexuality and didn't want to talk about it with anyone ever. Suit yourself. Lana put her boot on the empty chair beside him and adjusted her laces. Just know anyone's welcome. Queer, straight, questioning. She let that hang in the air. I just thought it might be better than being alone. But people did homework alone all the time, unless she thought he was too unstable to be by himself. Andrew massaged his scarred hand under the table. Dove ever go with you? Lana snorted, but her smile was fond. A few times, she fixed all the pride flags we'd hung crooked. Offered to iron them, too. He stole a quick glance at the window just as a car pulled in. From this far away, he could barely make out faces, but a boy with a tousled auburn curls climbed from the back seat and slammed the door hard enough for the shock wave to be felt inside the library. One of the professors walked around the car with keys still in hand, motioning Thomas toward the manor, but he took off in a flat-out run to the dorms. The professor didn't try to catch him. I have to go, Andrew mumbled, aware that avoiding Lana to chase Thomas had become a habit, aware that she noticed. Oh! He gathered his homework and flung himself from the library. Lana was wrong to invite him anyway. He didn't fit with those kids because he didn't fit with anyone except Thomas and Dove. And he didn't know if he was gay enough when there was only one boy he wanted. A small, reserved part of him knew he must be asexual, and that being gay enough wasn't a thing. But he looked at other boys and felt nothing. So maybe the only reason he didn't want Thomas to kiss Dove was so their trio wouldn't change. Not because he wanted to kiss Thomas. Or maybe he did, but it was better this way. Thomas was in love with Dove, and he was not one to think kissing was enough anyway. Andrew wouldn't survive a gentle, pleading rejection. He just wouldn't. Andrew went to the dorms, but their room was empty. He dumped his satchel on his bed and checked the bathrooms, then the lounge. Nothing. A quick survey of the garden and athletic fields showed no sign of Thomas. Afternoon tipped towards dusk. He had one last place to look. Past the endless green of sea of tamed grass. Past the endless green sea of tamed grass, the forest rose up in a sharp, dark line. It had always marked the edge of campus, but it used to be easy for a stray ball to be kicked through or kids to sneak past the tree line. Now there was the fence. As if that would stop Thomas. The forest was immense and unmappable and monstrous, and it had always belonged to him. He never got caught sneaking in there. Crossing the stretch of open field without being seen from one of the school's many windows would be a trick, so Andrew sprinted. Don't see me, please, please, let no one see me. The fence looked like a beast up close, 8 feet tall, maybe 10. Chain links made for easy climbing, but the wires had been left sharp at the top. Andrew hauled himself over and waited for some sort of alarm to go off. It was instant expulsion to those who crossed the fence after all. It didn't used to be like this, but maybe one too many kids sneaked out to hook up or drink after dark, and the principal had enough. Andrew scraped his arm, climbing over. He hissed as he dropped to the soft leaves on the other side. His shoes hit the muddy forest trail, and he tried to talk himself through his swelling panic. Whatever the cops had wanted Thomas for didn't matter. They'd given him back. He couldn't be in real trouble, because it looks bad. Pines sighed as Andrew slipped between them. Already dark places lived in the woods, the primrose of night thickening against the trees. He left the worn hiking path and followed a thin track crowded with shrubs and molted blue flowers. Moss underfoot, ferns rippling against his ankles. Then the underbrush thinned and his destination sprawled before him. A white oak big enough to hold up half the sky. It was ancient and lovely, with branches that curled like hands. Reaching out to welcome him, they called it the wildwood tree, and had been climbing it since they were kids. They used to whisper their fears into the bark so it could swallow their words whole. Thomas would be here. Andrew stopped at the base of the oak and tilted his head up. Thomas? At first, nothing moved. An emptiness stretched around Andrew, and his heartbeat felt too loud in his ears as his feet sank into the soft, leafy earth. He was acutely aware of how alone he was, how, if he cried out, no one from school would hear. Why was he thinking that? Nothing would happen. This was their place, where they were best together and comfortable in themselves. A slow chill slipped down his neck like cold molasses, and he shook himself to dislodge the unease. It shouldn't be so still, the ground this soft. He put his fingertips to his temple, to the aching pulse of a heartache fluttering to life. Someone breathed out hard behind him. He made himself turn slowly, but there was nothing there. The wind. It was just the wind. He refused to freak out over nothing again. But when he shifted closer to the tree to see if Thomas had climbed up, the ground seemed to suck at Andrew's shoes. It shouldn't be so damp out here. It hadn't rained. When he looked down, the earth was sodden as a bog. Dying afternoon light shimmered over the wet leaves, and for a second they looked almost crimson. Andrew knelt, careful, and touched the corner of a rotting leaf. His fingers came away, tipped with blood. Something shifted in the wildwood tree, and Andrew shrugged to his feet. Oh, no. Something shifted in the wildwood tree, and Andrew surged to his feet, his heart flinging itself frantically against his ribs. But only Thomas dropped from its branches, his expression stained and his mouth at an angle that looked almost angry. "You shouldn't be here," he said. Guys. Guys. Okay, that's all I'll be reading for today, guys. Cliffhanger. Ayo. But yeah. Cause I can only stream until, 10 due to like my life circumstances. I want to make time for those who I care about. Alright, so alright. Let's see what y'all have said. Wading. Oh yeah. Wading. Let me see what wading is, guys. I'll Google it. Let me see. Define wading. A walk with effort through water or another liquid or viscous substance. Oh, it's a water thingy or whatever. Thomas and Andrew is still weird names for twins for me. Oh, Thomas is not the twin. Thomas is the friend, and Andrew is twins with Dove. He has a twin sister. And Thomas is his friend, and he's like questioning his like sexuality and his orientation or whatever, but he knows he's asexual, so but he likes Thomas. But still, he doesn't really like, you know what I'm saying? He's just, yeah, drama queen is 100% pain in the booty. Yes. Yeah, she's just very about her studies. I think she doesn't like Lana from what I read, like, or she's like sketched out by her. I like Lana. I feel like Lana is like anti-bullying, and that's so real, guys. He hated talking to people. Me, I feel you, bro. honestly, I get it, because sometimes I do too. But look, that's everybody. We all have that one person we don't really like, or those moments where we get anxious and stuff. I really like talking to people unless I'm like extremely bored. But yes, because there's a forest in the title, I am curious what's the difference between forest, woods, and jungle. Well, okay, so a forest is like, I feel like a forest is just a descriptive of the woods, because the woods is made up of like all the trees and stuff. So you say like, oh, I'm going to the woods, but the woods is the forest, or that's what I think. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. And then the jungle is more tropical. So the jungle is like not where the lion sleeps, because the lions are from the savannah, okay? Savannas are grassy areas, okay? But like grassy flatlands. And the jungle is like more tropical than the woods, and the woods are the forest, I think. The struggle is real. For real, Nunu. Ah! Thank you so much for today's reading, bunny. So next stream is chapter 7. Yes, 7. Hopefully It wasn't actually ankle deep water. It was like blood and stuff in there. So I was like, oh my god. I hope that it doesn't like go too down. You know what I'm saying? Um, are y'all watching the stream? There's nothing wrong with the stream, right? Okay, it doesn't seem like it. It's still confusing what wading is, even though you already looked into dictionary. Yeah, I think it's just like moving through like watery areas or places. What is wrong with my mic? You feel like the sound is kind of weird? What do you mean? Like, can you describe the sound? Because I kind of drop my phone a lot. Or is it like muffled? Or what do you mean it's kind of weird? The lion sleep tonight. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Yeah, agree. King of the jungle should be tiger, not lion. Lion lives in savannah. Yes. Or jaguars. You know, tigers or jaguars, depending on where you're at. Blinking. Oh, there is buffering a little bit earlier. I don't know why that is. I think my data, like my hotspot might be running slow a little bit. Or maybe like it's just like my phone, the way it's streaming, or the space in my phone affecting it. I don't know. Maybe I just need to like uninstall Infinity Nikki because I haven't played it on my phone in a while. So I haven't played it at all in a while. I think it's because it's kind of like insufferable for me to play games on my phone. I like playing on console. Yeah, the stream kind of blinking. Sometimes your voice becomes kind of robot. The mic clicks sometimes. Oh, finally a beautiful voice of our bunny. Oh, oh God. Did my stream just end? Guys. What? Oh. Guys. Hold on. I gotta end this. Ah! Oh, wait. Never mind. That's the wrong... Oh, freak. That's the wrong, It's the wrong phone. Oh my god. I was so scared, guys. Oh my god. I definitely don't want to reveal my face right now. Oh my god. The panic was so real. Guys, I want to stay anonymous as long as possible, okay? I don't want to show... Oh my god, I was so scared. Oh, by the way, I keep hearing a fan noise. Yeah, it's cause the AC is on. It's really nice here. There's actually AC here. So sorry for that panic moment. There's actually AC here, so I am not cooking actively like I was at my old place where I used to live. And the other place where I used to live and the other place. Okay, you get it. You get it. I moved around a lot, guys. I'm just trying to find a place to stay right now. Honestly, where I'm at right now, it's not permanent. We're actually really close to moving into an apartment, hopefully soon. So, yeah. It is very hot. It is excruciatingly hot here. Like, it's summer, and sometimes the temperature reaches hundreds. This is actually the coldest day today, and it was like 92 at lowest, and maybe like 100, exactly 100 at highest. No, it's not cold for you, yo mama? Yeah, it just ended earlier. No, y'all, my live is still on. Please don't leave. Yeah, okay. No, no, bye. No, bye. No. I am Hispanic. I am Mexican. Ah, hi. I can't do the scream. No puedo. I did? No, you're lying. You're lying. Panic is real. I did not. I don't have tattoos. Stop playing, guys. Stop playing. Stop playing. I'll have to redo the live then, cause that's crazy. No way, Jose. Yeah, the record temperature of summer this year is in Greece has reached 45°C. What is 45 Celsius actually? I don't know. Oh, wait. No. I was about to panic again. It's been cool here in Kansas City. How much, like, what temperature has it been in Kansas? Don't worry, bunny. Everything is fine. Your face is safe from face reveal. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Oh my gosh. I was like actively out here, like, you know? Oh my gosh. But speaking of which, we all hate Bryce, right? We all hate that guy. He's mean. He's a bully. No, say no to bullies. No. Do not bring bullying back. 88 to 94. That's actually really good. I think I would be really happy over there. My favorite, like my preferred temperature is 80 up to 100. No higher than that. Oh, no. I haven't made it yet. Swipe, don't swipe, no swiping. Swipe or no swiping. But I still don't see your dice collection VODs. Sorry. Look, it's okay. I'm working on it. Actually, I brought it up at the beginning of the stream. How I'm running out of space, guys, and I really do think that's what's making my stream blink. I'm making it though. It's gonna be ASMR, and sadly, where I live right now, the quality probably won't be that good, but I will be updating it every year or every 2 years. So maybe the quality of the future ones will be better. But yeah, I will definitely be making an ASMR dice collection video for you. Yes? You're welcome, yo mama. I am actually not done, guys. Please do not leave. Please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. Is the mic on my phone like broken? Like, do I sound robotic all the time or only sometimes? Don't worry, just take your time, bunny. I want to see your wonderful dice collection. Yay, ASMR dice collection. Yes. Exactly. It will be ASMR. So I will not be showing my face. But don't touch my fingernails, right? Because I do the dishes now, so my nails aren't that good as they used to be. And I actually have to trim them back again because, you know, I clean the dishes, they break because water makes your nails brittle. So yeah. But also especially when you just turn the pages. Oh, the click when I turn the pages. That's probably because I was holding the phone that I'm streaming with towards the book, and probably the pages were hitting the mic. So hopefully yeah, I can fix that if I can, because I've dropped my phone like thousands of times, guys, especially recently, because my car has had a lot of issues. Basically all brake related, all like the track of the car or whatever it's called, the thing that holds the wheels to your car, that's broken for me. I need to replace that. I need to change the oil, replace the air filter. I need all this work on my car. And basically all I have on me right now to even do anything with money is basically just enough to fix my car. Like guys, I'm struggling out here, okay? Have you go swimming pool this summer, bunny? I am actually really shy about my body. So if I do go, like I kind of like, I do want to go, but I don't know how to swim, so I'll probably be on like the kiddie pool. Nah, just kidding. Or maybe on like the 4 foot tall end of the pool, because I am 4'11". um, yeah, smartphone dropping is an issue nowadays. No, I cannot swim. I cannot. I'd probably wear like one of those uh swimsuit dresses. I don't want to like reveal too much. I don't like revealing too much. I'm actually super shy about that. I thought a rabbit can swim. No, this rabbit cannot swim. This particular rabbit that you are listening to right now cannot swim for the life of me. Like I knew how to, like at first, like I took lessons, right? And then I didn't swim for like, I'm gonna say 4 to 5 years, and I forgot everything. Now I can only back paddle. Like a little turtle. I can only back paddle. Maybe I can learn. Maybe I can learn how to like swim eventually again. But you know, because I have a friend, or not a friend, like an acquaintance that learned how to swim at 30. So I'm like, look, it's never too late to learn, guys. It's never too late to learn how to swim. Don't worry. Don't worry. I can only swim at swimming pool 2. I am too afraid swimming at the ocean. Actually, I don't like. I've swum at a lake before, but because I visited in Mexico, right? I I swam right at a lake, but you have to watch out when you go swimming out at lakes because you don't know what could be in the water. Like in Mexico, in the lakes or in the rivers, there's always like a chance that you'll run into a scorpion. And there's a difference. I think in Mexico, there's a difference between a scorpion and another creature that looks similar to a scorpion, or it could be the same. Hello, Clifton. How are you doing? What games have you been playing recently? Yeah, they're scorpions and lobsters. True. You've been playing Dissidia? Oh, I tried the demo for it. I'm really bad at it because I'm really bad at strategy games, especially the ones with squares where you have to like pick the right character and the right weapon or you die easily. Honkai Star Rail. I haven't even tried that one. I think I played like 20 minutes of it and then I uninstalled it because I liked other games. But yeah, they have scorpions in the water over there. Or even like in some places they have like spiders in it. So you have to really like watch out which body of water you go into. You say it's easy, it's an easy strategy game. Why are you lying to me? ¿Por qué? You know, because me, I played that game and I died in seconds. I passed away, like I was gone. Like I played the demo and I never picked it up again. I was like, no, never again. The scary animal whenever I swim at the beach is a snake. Yeah, like especially in like by the ocean, right? Like if you swim in seawater, it's because some snakes are very very toxic. Actually, one of the world's most venomous or poisonous. I don't know the difference. I think one is that you touch it and it poisons you, and one is it bites you to poison you. One of the most poisonous snakes in the world is one that swims in the ocean. So it's smart of you to be worried about snakes in the ocean. No worries. You never die once, Clifton. You're an expert at those. Oh, Bunny gives us her tricks to feel cooler in summer. Me? Okay, so look. This is what I used to do when I lived at my parents. Because at my parents, there's no AC. And I would sleep at the top bunk. Or if there was AC, it was in a different room. So what I would do is close the door to that room, turn on the AC, and turn on a fan. And then if that didn't work, I would grab a what's it called? I would grab a wet napkin, like get it wet with water, and then put it on your forehead or on your chest and neck, and then you'll cool off entirely, like with a quickness. Not cooler like swag, but cooler like chilling your body. Yeah, no, I get it. You got a Discord server? Actually, I do. If you want, I can put the Discord in what's it called? In the description of the video once I finish like editing it and everything. Like you can check it like 5 minutes later, and then I can put it on there. Um, in my server, everyone is safe. You know, like we try to be safe. We have a vent channel. Nobody's allowed to like screenshot anything, be mean to anybody about anything at all in there. That it's all like transparent. We have art channels, we have pet channels, we have general, we have everything. Well, we don't have everything, but you know what I mean. We have a lot of stuff on there. What? The AC and fan? What a spoiled child. No, no, I'm not. I'm really not. My siblings had the AC. I had the fan. I'm sorry, Adolf Hitler. That's only for if I see your content and I like it, I do that. Or if I what's it called? If I know you personally and I, like your channel, or like if you like what's it called? Raid me or something. That's when I shout out people. Otherwise, for me, it's kind of like hard to just like shout out people. You know what I mean? What food or drink you use to eat or drink summer to chill your body, Winnie? So you know how there's like those like thin strips of like ice water with flavor in it? They call it ice pops in English and sabalitos in Spanish. So those sabalitos and like what's it called? I ice cream. I like ice cream for sure. Like, get me some ice cream now. I like ice pops too. Um, Ice water. What flavor? My favorite is actually honeydew. There's honeydew ones. Did you know? Yeah, sabalito. Yeah, just like that. I think with a B, but I don't know. I'm not really good at spelling in Spanish. But what's it called? I like honeydew and I like orange because orange is one of my favorite fruits and flavors. And then also, for ice cream, I like strawberry, vanilla, chocolate, but my favorite is chocolate mint, chocolate chip mint ice cream. But any like cold treat I really like. I really like cold treats, but except coffee. I don't like cold coffee or coffee in general. You eat Doritos and drink water in the summer and eat vanilla ice cream. Yeah, vanilla ice cream, you can't go wrong with that. And then Doritos, if you eat them with like, do you eat like the original or do you eat the flamas? Because I eat the flamas even if it's hot, and I'm like, yeah, cook me alive. I don't care. I like these. Ice creams or popsicles is a good idea. Yes, exactly. Like the Lucas Pelucas popsicles are bomb. I'm telling you, like they're so good. I can't stop thinking about them sometimes. Thank you. Yes, orange is my favorite fruit. Mm, what's it called? Coffee gives you energy. Actually, when I drink coffee, it makes me super sleepy. I don't know why. I don't know for what reason. And also, I can't really drink coffee black. I gotta put like a ton of milk and sugar, almost like not coffee at all. Cool Ranch Doritos are your favorite. You know, I haven't tried those. I might try those. There's a lot of stuff that I haven't tried in life or in like food. For example, like I've never lit a firework. I've never like gone on a roller coaster. I've never gone to a concert. There's so many things I haven't done in life yet, guys. You drink Red Bull? I don't drink any energy drinks because when I drink energy drinks I get super sleepy. Like last time I had an energy drink, I got extremely like mellowed out and it was just like a tiny sip, you know? Isn't it Doritos is really spicy? How do you fan handle the spiciness in the summer? How can I handle the spiciness in the summer? I don't know. I really don't. I don't know. I like spice but not like super spicy. So I guess that's how I handle it. And Doritos Flamas to me are not that spicy. But like if I try like the actual chile plant, like the actual jalapeno, actual chile de monte, actual salsa verde, actual stuff like that. Like if I try that, it's gonna hurt so bad. Like I can't have the actual plant. Like if I have like the actual spicy plant, I will pass away. I'm just kidding. I won't die, but like really painful, and I will not be having a good time. That's kind of weird. How? I don't know. I don't know why it makes me sleepy. I think it's weird too because I would see people would drink coffee and they would like wake up on the spot. And for me, I got like sluggish. Yeah, yeah, even like energy drinks make me sleepy. Hot Cheetos are really spicy. You think hot Cheetos are super spicy? I like I like them with cheese. Like if the hot Cheeto is too spicy, try it with cheese and it will like ease the spice a lot. But if it's really hot, it will even more. Like it'll be even spicier if it's too hot. So I like to let it cool a little bit before I eat it because cold hot Cheetos with cheese are ew. But like tempered or uh room temperature is just right. I'm gonna drink some water, okay, guys? Y'all stay hydrated, guys. Don't forget to drink your water, okay? Yeah, I like chatting with y'all. I like reading for y'all. I like doing stuff for y'all. It's fun for me. I like to keep things cozy too. Wait, I know a Mexican brand that's even spicier than Doritos. It's Takis or Takis. Takis is really good. I like Takis, like the red ones, but I also like Turbos. Have you tried the Turbos? Turbos are really good. Like they're like kind of like screw-shaped chips that are red, like bright red, and they're super good. I love them. Right? Right, yo mama? They're really good. It's just like spicy snacks that looks like hot flame Cheetos with purple packaging. Yeah, I like the Takis. I like all the purple bag spicy stuff. Like I like the Doritos Flamas. I like the Takis Flamas. I like the hot Cheetos with lemon. I like Chester's fries. I like what else do I like? I like a lot of stuff. Turbos. I like a bunch of stuff, like I said. Spicy chips are my life. Spicy chips are life. My mouth is hot, right? I made my tacos way too hot. I put Diablo sauce. Oh, I could never. Diablo sauce. No, no. I would not be okay. Diablo sauce and habanero peppers. When I have been listening to your whole stream right now, my mouth is hot. You should get some water. Stay hydrated, guys. Stay hydrated. Yeah, that's weird. Energy drink make you sleepy? Yeah. Sadly it does. I don't know why. Like if I'm lacking energy, all I can do is like just you know, spend my reserve energy that I have left. That's all I can do. Like, I'll get like this. If I'm like super tired, I'll get this punch of energy and then completely crash when I'm able to. Yeah, takis are really spicy. What is turbo? Turbo is a purple bag chip um, that is shaped like a twist, like a screw, and it's very spicy, but I love it. Turbo is a snack too. Takis are hot. Yeah, they are. What is takis in Mexican language? Is that mean anything? I think takis is a play on words. Because I don't think we have actual an actual meaning for takis. Like it's just the name of the chip. But you know how we have tacos? I think it's a play on words with tacos. So takis, tacos, I don't know. Maybe that's just my brain making that connection. Oh, turbo is chips. I see. Yeah, they're really good. You should look at them. Do you have any spicy chips where you're at, Nunu? What are the best spicy chips where you are at? In Indonesia, right? We had a customer that we did a quinceañera for, and she had all the flavors of takis inside a big, huge bowls. Gave us all the flavors. You know what I did once? That sounds so good, actually. I would love that. Yeah, spicy chips. I like spicy chips, but not other spicy things. Well, I like spicy candy too. mm, you know what I did with my friend once? I got like a bunch of like cheese and spicy chips, and we put them in a bowl, and we put like chamoy on it, and we also put like what else did we put on there? More spice. Like we put like tajin on it, and we ate it together like that. I think I showed y'all a post like back. It happened, and then I showed y'all what we made. It was like chip cocktail. Como cóctel de fruta, like a fruit cocktail. I don't know. I don't know what spicy chips in Indonesia. I don't like to eat spicy snacks that much. It's okay. It's okay. No worries, Nunu. What is your favorite snack? What are y'all's favorite snacks? And what are y'all's favorite ice cream flavors? And what are y'all's best ways to get cool in the summer? I gave y'all mine. You like spicy noodles? Actually, I can't eat spicy noodles. I mean, like, I can eat them, but I don't really enjoy eating spicy noodles. Like, actual spicy food is just not for me. I'm very picky. I like bland foods, but I love T-bones. I love T-bones, but they're so expensive. I haven't eaten them in, like, almost a month. And before then, I hadn't eaten them in, like, a year. So, sad. I wish I was rich so I could afford the T-bones every day. I'm carnivorous, guys. Remember that. Takis, takis, takis. But stay hydrated while you eat them. Is there any anime I'm watching right now? Not me personally, but my boyfriend watches a lot of them. I could ask him and I could let y'all know next stream what he watches. I haven't been able to read manga either a lot like I used to because like I said, low on funds at the moment. Really, really low. Like you know what I mean? But I have been playing games that I already own. Like recently, like in the past week, I haven't been able to play as much because I get out of work tired, but on my days off I can play. I've been playing Jurassic World Evolution on the Switch and what is it called? Puppy Island? Something like that. Something like that. And then what else? I think that's it. I think so. But those games I already owned, so but yeah, I'm trying to like save some money.
So I ain't getting no more new stuff or snacking as much as I would like. Yeah, Cheetos, the ordinary ones are good too, though. I can eat those with like tajin and chamoy or like some kind of like spicy sauce that's not too spicy. You eat watermelon in the hot weather? Yeah. My dad loves watermelon. I like watermelon. I prefer the artificial watermelon. I like the artificial watermelon flavor in candy and in drinks. Look at my page. I've been working a lot, Bunny. Are you your channel, right? You want me to look at your channel after I finish streaming? I will. I'll look at what you're doing. Or I'll look at the Discord and if you posted it there. And currently watching Delicious and Dungeon on Netflix. Actually like I think like a month or two ago I was watching that with my boyfriend. He is it like about cooking monsters in dungeons and then like isn't there like that one episode where like there's like a compy or something? I don't know. I wonder if your BF have watched Takopi this season. He I don't know about Takopi, but he loves Solo Leveling. That's like his favorite anime ever. Solo Leveling. I did not get the Switch 2. I'm too broke, guys. I'm not like I had my Switch from back when I lived at my parents. Is that's the one I have. Although I do want the Switch 2 because they released Bravely Default, the Flying Fairy or something like that on there. And I'm like, oh my god, I love that game on the 3DS and I wasn't able to finish it and I want it so bad. I have it on my wish list at the moment, but I haven't gotten it because I have a Forbidden Maiden on the PlayStation 5 right saved on my wish list. Cuz I remember you telling me about it and yeah, the role-playing card game. I played the demo a long time ago. I enjoyed it. I've been playing Postnomics too. But I got that last Christmas. Um on the Switch. So Forbidden Maiden, I have it on my wish list. I will be able to stream it as soon as we moved into the apartment. Otherwise, I don't know when that will be. But it is saved on my wish list. Okay. No, no. Artificial. What does artificial watermelon taste like? It's more like watermelon, but like a little sour but sweet at the same time. It smells like watermelon lip gloss. Like how watermelon lip gloss smells is what it tastes like. Yes. Mm-hmm. Trade your Switch 1 for the Switch 2. I can't because I love my Switch OLED because that one is the Splatoon colors. And then that's why I got it because I was like, "Oh my god, I love the colors. I love the design." Um I would never trade it. Also, I got it from a birthday present from my dad, so it has like a lot of meaning. Most of the stuff I have on me has a lot of meaning. I am very possessive over because I worked hard for what I have. So I'm like, I don't want to get rid of my Switch. If anything, guys, stay hydrated. I'm gonna get some water and then continue a little bit. Don't worry, guys. I'm not sick or anything. This is from me being a little hungry. So let me see. But yeah, most of the stuff I have is very sentimental to me because I worked hard for it. So yeah, I like super super like, oh no, I don't want to get rid of my Switch Lite even though I don't use it, but I give it to my BF and he traded it in for a Switch, a full OLED Switch. So
Now I don't have my Switch Lite and I kind of miss it. Okay, guys, it's looking like my throat's getting a little tired. I'm gonna finish reading these last few comments and then it will be time for me to go, okay? I don't recommend to buy the Switch 2 for now, Bunny. Maybe next year or 2 years from now when Switch 2 has more games to be played. Yeah, because I actually, you know what I heard? Nintendo is trying to raise the prices of their older consoles. So like the Switch 1, the Switch OLED, the Switch Lite, they're all getting price increases, which is odd. I'm like, guys, people went to you because y'all are the cheapest option. Why are y'all trying to like increase the prices up to like other consoles? You know what I mean? Watermelon lip gloss. I never wear a lip gloss in my life. Well, I mean, like, I don't know. You could. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you know, if your girlfriend has one, you know, you can smell it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know you can play Switch 1 games on the Switch too, but I'm very, like, very connected to my Switch OLED because of the colors. I have the one that's Splatoon themed, so it has the neon green, the purple, the little shapes and stuff on the Switch. Yes, guys, water time. I am very hungry right now. Guess it's time for eating some ice cream or drink some favorite orange juice. I am hungry for food. I like snacking and stuff, but yeah, I'm gonna have to end the stream soon, guys. Thank you for the stream, Bunny. Have fun at work and see you in the next stream. Alright, guys. Thank you for stopping by. I really enjoyed chatting with y'all. Please leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe if you have not already. Stay hydrated. And bye.